What is up, everybody? It's your boy Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here, and we are here for the draft analysis of the CDL, the Cosmic Draft League. And this is the first time I'm going to be doing a Nat Dex League. Now, back in Generation 8, I kind of did a decent amount of some Nat Dex Leagues here and there, up and down and all around type of stuff like that. But ever since Gen 9 has come around, I have not played anything Nat Dex. I've been strictly playing Gen 9 Paldea decks and everything like that. So this is gonna be the first time we're doing a national dex in Gen 9. Um, it's gonna be weird because I'm going to be relearning some of these Pokemon that I have not used in a long time. But it's gonna be interesting. Excuse me. It's gonna be very interesting to see how things go. So but with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the team that we have. So for the CDL, we had to draft there were 16 of us in two divisions. We're in the Dawn division. Now, each team was required to be drafting 11 Pokemon. Now, I would not have had the biggest problem drafting specifically 11 Pokemon, but my problem with that was that you only had 105 points, which means you pretty much get 6 very good Pokemon, and then the rest of your team having to at least have some viability slash are just filler bonds, and they're not that good. That's kind of basically what it was. And to me, I feel like being point limited on that, being point restricted like that, and then having to um only have 105 to draft a team of 11 Pokemon. I just don't think that's fair. I really don't think that's fair. It's really limited. It was 110. I could definitely say it's more limited because especially since your highest point tier is 21. I think having at least something along the lines of 110 would have been a little more balanced at the very most. So that's just my personal opinion. Now with my mini rant out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the team. But before I do, let's talk about Terra rules. The Terra rules were that you had to have Pokemon from the Terra points of 9 and below equal 10. So you basically had 10 points to draft a team. You get 1 to 2 Terra captains at max. You get And within those 4 Terra types you choose, one of them has to be a Stab Terra type, which basically means of the 2, one of them has to be Stab, which means like if you get a dual type Pokemon, more than likely, if you have to get a secondary type for it, you use either Stab type. So for example, like Celesteela, even though I can't Terra, but if a Celesteela was one of my 2 Terra captains and my other Pokemon used 2 free Terras, that means I either have to be a Flying or Steel as one of my primary Terra types that I have to use and then have 1 free type. You'll see what I mean when we get into some of the picks I made here. But with that being said, let's talk about this team here. So I had 13 pick out of 16, really rough for us, but I think we walked away with some powerful Pokemon that we really get really late in the rounds. The rest of the team after probably round 6/7, definitely are really weak, but I think have some potential. So my first pick, I went with ZERAORAS. ZERAORAS is a very good comfort pick for me. I love my boy El Tigre here. Um, Zeraora just fits so well into what I like about my playstyle. I've been very creative with Zeraora. I've actually made weakness policy on this thing work really well, which is pretty surprising. But I do think after been a while since I've used it, I'm gonna be a little rusty with it. But I am so excited to use Zeraora. It's one of my favorite, if not probably is my favorite electric type to use in Draft League. So I'm very excited to use it. Cannot wait to try this bad boy out. It is going to be such a fun mon to use this season, and I'm really looking forward to it. It really also helps my team with a lot of speed right out of the gate, because I know I sometimes don't draft a ton of speed. We do have a decent amount of speed this season, so it's going to be really good for us nonetheless. Going with my second pick, I wanted to pick something that I've been wanting to use for so damn long. Plus, it's one of the best counters to Zeraora in the entire game, and that is Gliscor, aka Scorpium. Scorpium him is so cool. My boy Gliscor, I'm so excited. It gives me a really good physically defensive Pokemon with decent amounts of def and HP. This Pokemon with Toxic, with Poison Heal, with that Toxic Orb. There's a lot of strats you can pull off with this Pokemon. I think everyone just assumes that this is just defensive Gliscor. It's not going to do anything besides defog, set rocks, do this, blah, blah, blah. I think there's a lot of potential. I think a lot of people are missing out on here with Gliscor. Is that Gliscor is an amazingly good physical threat. Like it gets access to Swords Dance, Roost, which is gonna be really important to know. This Pokemon will claim lives. Excuse me, will claim lives. This thing is so insanely strong. It is very hard hitting with boxes to Facade. Like Facade plus ground coverage literally checks just about everything in the format there. The flying typing's a little gonna be bad because of ice typing, but otherwise we can just really check so many things out there. Gliscor is just a phenomenal one, and it gives us a decent enough speed tier where if we needed to go a little bit fast with this team, Gliscor fits the role right there. So I'm very excited for this. I'm so excited to try Gliscor. It is one of my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon, and I'm very excited to finally get my hands on this Pokemon. But speaking of my favorites, oh my god, I am so happy I finally get to use Reuniclus again. This is one of my, if not my favorite Psychic type to use in Draft League. We're getting a lot of my favorites, huh? I really love Reuniclus. It is such a good Pokemon. There's so many viability sets to go. There's Store Power set. There's Calm Mind. There's Iron Defense. There's Cosmic Power. There's Calm Mind. There's Specs. There's Strict. There's so many sets this thing can run. It is so good. I love Reuniclus so much. It is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. It's such a problem for a lot of teams to deal with. I'm so excited to use this Pokemon again after so long, and I cannot wait for my boy Revival Jam here to put in the work. Now, don't ask me how this is possible, because I don't even know why this is possible. I somehow got Celesteela, pick 3, pick 4 Celesteela, round 4 Celesteela when I had the 13th pick. I don't get how I got this Pokemon, but it was right there. It definitely drained me a good chunk of my points, but I don't care. It's a Celesteela. I love Celesteela. It's my favorite Ultra Beast to use in Draft League. And it's one of the most broken Ultra Beasts in Draft League. It is so insanely strong. It hits like a mad truck. There's so many versatility that you can run this thing. It can be full on defensive. It can be full on offensive. It has great setup options. It has great usage. It is just a strong Dude, strong Pokemon, and I am very excited to use Celesteela again. The Twin Towers are here to stay, and they're ready to rock out. Now, we go with a Pokemon that's a little bit of a weird choice here to go with this team, but is a Pokemon I do like. I don't get a chance to use it really all that often. I've only used it really in like a VGC League for a little bit, and it was one of my MVPs for that season. But at times, I've always picked this thing up in transactions, but never drafted it for its usage, and this is the first time I'm gonna be doing that. It's my boy Conkeldurr, Conky Conk here, and I love this thing. It is a super strong Pokemon. It definitely deters away potential toxic spikes, which I think a lot of people wouldn't want to bring against a team like mine. But you have to be careful because if I get any type of guts boost, I'm literally golden. Like this thing is a fantastic AV setter. This thing is insanely strong, and this Pokemon really can run Rough Shot if you let. I think it's just a fantastic Pokemon, and I am very excited to use my boy Conkeldurr here. He's going to smack people up the nose with those Cinder Blocks. Going to round 6, I realized I didn't have a Mega at this point, and I felt like I would be really remiss if I didn't get a Mega, and this was one of arguably the few best Megas left on the board. There was definitely Altaria, which I think would have fit this team a little bit better, but unfortunately someone actually just picked it up in transactions, and plus I didn't have a Dark type at this point in time, and I also didn't have a Water type, and don't sleep on what you see here. Mega Gyarados is not is as much of a threat as anyone else says. 155 attack, which is insane. I have a lot of physical offense, by the way, so I do realize that. So burn is coming my way. Don't get me wrong, but some of the birds is actually good. Some of the birds is not that bad. So, excuse me. But I'm very excited to have Mega Gyarados. I've only used this thing one time, and I had an okay time with it. It wasn't like it was the world's best experience with it, but it was a fun experience with it. It was a really fun Pokemon to use that time. In terms of what it can provide for this team, it does a lot. It can take a surprising amount of good amount of hits. It has Umbreon-like stats, which is disgusting to think about, besides HP. But it's got decent enough speed. It's got really good utility. It has Intimidate support, which is really good before it Megas. And it should be a really good Pokemon, man. I absolutely love Mega Gyaro, and I'm hoping my boy Tsunami here is going to put in the absolute finest. Shouts to Flame for his nickname. I'm kind of stealing his nickname for this, but shouts to my boy Flame for the Bull E. That's Timmy Turner reference if you get it. If you don't, not cool. But just kidding. But I like Tauros here. I was heavily debating because Tauros was 6 points. I was heavily debating on making Tauros a Terra Captain. And here's the reason why I was debating on making Tauros a Terra Captain. Sheer Force, Life Orb, Body Slams literally have no switch-ins. But I was thinking to myself, there's other couple of options, and plus, there's still a chance to use it for that reason if I really wanted to. It would cost me a transaction point, but overall, I'm so excited to have Tauros on my team. Tauros is one of my favorite normals I've used in draft. I would say it at times I'm a little bad with it, but it's not like I'm like, oh my god, I'm bad at using it type of thing. I personally like Tauros. It's a really cool Pokemon, especially when you play around the Life Orb Sheer Force sets. Obviously, these Intimidating sets can really come well, but I feel like where it shines better is definitely that Sheer Force and just that powerful Body Slam. And then just remembering that you don't get the recoil stuff from all the benefits. Trust me, as someone that has made the mistake like that before, it did make for some funny commentary, which I felt was pretty cool. So there was that. But Tauros, fantastic Pokemon. Absolutely excited. So this is where after the round, I started basically getting mons that were at highest 4-3. Which we didn't get anything that was like, oh, there's one more 4-pointer too that we did pick up, but the rest of the team basically nothing was like below 2. We never got anything that was 2 and below. We basically stayed 3 to 4 basically for the rest of this team. And I think I did grab some of the best options that were left on the board, but I'm just not sure how much they're going to come to these games and what's going to really pan out for us. But let's just see how we go. First off, let's go with Aggron, baby. And this is one of my 2 Terra Captains I did decide to go with. My boy AGG Ron, shouts to A-Drive for this name. I'm excited to go with it because I didn't know what the name of regular Aggron. We are rocking out with the Steel and Fairy typing. So I just decided Aggron to stay a Steel type. And here's a couple of reasons why I decided to stay a Steel type. Stay a Steel type just because of the fact, again, if we run something like AV, it could still be able to take some of the hits out there. It does still have a decent amount of resistance. It's still going to be weak to fighting ground and fire, which would have already been weak to the fighting in the ground, but it loses the quad weakness, which means it should be able to take hits a little bit more better, which is really cool about this Pokemon. But overall, I think Aggron is going to be super strong. It's got such a high defensive side, such strong attack. It's another stealth rocker for this team, which I think is really important because we don't have much rocks or hazards in general on this team. But I'm very excited to try Aggron. It's my first time using regular Aggron too, so I'm very excited to see how it does. And of course, you already know that your boy wants to run some Rockhead head smashes, which is really, really cool. So I'm very excited to try this Pokemon out, and hopefully we have a lot of fun with it this season. Hopefully we can do some stuff. Up next, we're rocking out Big Turd, baby. Big Turd here with the rapid spin support, which is really good for the team. He's also a Shell Smash user, which can provide some really good offense. This thing also hits insanely hard. It is very good defensively, but it can still hit really, really hard. My first time using Turtonator, so it's going to be interesting, but I definitely don't see myself bringing this thing as much as I would probably want to. But you never know. That's the one game where Turtonator can pop off. Turtonator can pop off. But otherwise, Turtonator, it's okay. It's going to be fun to see how well we can try it, and we'll just go with that. Up next is my second Terra Captain, which was, I think, a steal in 3 points. I think it should have been at least 4 points for Terra usage and stuff like that. But we got my boy Go-Goat here, Chompy, which you can't really see it, but I went with ground and water. Now, you may be asking yourself why I went with ground with water. Ground is really good because, again, it gives me boosted earthquakes, which is then gets seriously strong. But one of the main things about Chompy being a water type is because of Sap Sipper. Grass Pelt, basically, it's a useless ability. But Sap Sipper now, when it comes to ground types now only have one weakness, being water. And Chompy here can beat those water types. Depending on the water type, of course. But then when you look at then if it's water type, it's only weak to electric. And again, we carry coverage for electric type. So depending on the electric type, we can beat it. So that's going to be really important. Also, you're going to hear a train in the background for the next few minutes. So if you hear that, I apologize. But Go-Go here, I think is going to be a really slept on threat. I saw my good friend Addison use this, and she enjoyed using Go-Go for its Terra Captain roles. She didn't get to pop off too much with it, but I'm definitely looking forward to trying Go-Go myself and hopefully having a good time with it. And last but not least, we got my boy Backwards. You can tell by why. If you can't, just look at the name. Come back to it later. We'll think about it later. But we got my boy Muck here. First time ever drafting Muck. Actually, no, it's my second time I think drafting Muck, but I think I dropped it after one point. But basically, it's the first proper time I'm drafting regular Muck. I kind of just wanted a poison type. We didn't have any grounded poison, but it does get access to the T-Spice. And it's got some okay abilities. Like Poison Touch is really, really good. Sticky Hold's kind of good in case there's a certain matchup where I really need my item. Sticky Hold does have the benefit drawback though because of knockoff still getting boosted, so that's gonna be one thing to be careful about. But Muck's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. It's definitely different, but Muck is one of those Pokemon that I think can do a lot for us if we play with it and do well with it. But it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, real quick back off the team here. This team, like I said, it is completely like nothing I have ever drafted before. I think this is definitely a very new team to me. I've seen a few of these Pokemon I have used before. Some of them I have not really used at all in such a long time. So this to me feels like it's a new team. So it's going to be very interesting to see how well we do it this season. But you know what? We're here to have some fun. It's only 8 weeks, so a lot of possibilities here. This is going to probably be the last Showdown League I am going to play before the DLC comes around. So probably after OGDL and all the Wi-Fi leagues that I'm playing in right now, and after this league, I'm going to take a break until the DLCs drop, until the DLC drops, and then we can start getting like a league or two in there. But for now, guys, this is going to be the last Showdown League we're going to do until the DLC drops besides the OGDL and this one. So let's get some hype and let's get some um, hype and excitement going. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Sorry I was kind of being dumb and rambling in this last bit here. It's just that I don't know how to properly outro my videos sometimes. But with that being said, though, we have a pretty good team here. I think we have a lot of cool ideas. If you guys have any comments about the team and what we can maybe do to make the team a little better or add some things to it, just let me know in the comment section below. I love reading your comments, and thank you guys so much for over 6,000 views on this channel. It's insane. We've been grinding really good on the view rates lately, and I'm just very happy and blessed, though I'm entertaining so many people out there. So thank you all so much. And with that being said, though, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.